cat, guys. I am house sitting for a client right now, so making this video not from home, but thank you so much for checking out the channel. Anyways, my name is Milotic Miles, and if you hear a kitty purr, he's just excited to be here. Sword and Shield. I wanted to take a look at a couple items in Sword and Shield just to kind of give you guys an idea of the landscape right now, because things are pretty crazy. Realistically, what we're looking at more so in the market is most likely a bull market that is likely to correct, as opposed to a bull market that is likely to crash. However, Pokemon as a secondary market is very large. It's really hard to quantify the entire market to say whether or not we are in a bull or bearish market as a whole. However, what you can look at is the amount of cards that have absolutely nothing to do with competitive play. People are now realizing that, promos are ultimately probably what's going to be the best investment or the best thing to hold a lot of, or maybe the best, PSA 10 plays, whatever people are deciding. But unbeknownst to a lot of people, we're seeing a lot of purchases from April. If you want to look at it like stocks, consider that people are buying shares of this. People were buying shares of this at $1.78. Wow. People honestly have just been buying this up. So if you look on an average, if 17 on average are sold a day and there's 270, you may not be able to get this card next year. Now that does sound like FOMO, but I think I'm just being realistic here with the amount of copies that I'm talking about in terms of ease of use, right? Like, these are easy copies to get. You can go on TCG, you scroll down, you find a seller that you like. I usually wouldn't recommend purchasing from somebody who's not like a reputable seller. But regardless, it's going to get a lot harder. And if you notice, people are actually buying this card more now than they were a year ago, according to the average amount daily sold. So, yeah, if people are buying this 20, if people are buying 20 of these a day, well, in 2 weeks, this card is going to be gone. So, Galarian Zapdos is being purchased 21 times a day. This card was really nice. I thought it was nice at 80 cents. People like the artwork. I think it's a good artwork. I think any card that has multiple Pokemon in it is cool at the very least. Unless it's kind of gimmicky, like the tag teams. Not the biggest fan of too many gimmicks like that, but any illustration that has multiple Pokemon, I am a fan personally. Yeah, just want to let you guys know about this because, nobody's telling you that this card is being purchased this much, July 1st, 115 of these. So this might be your only chance, guys, to get this card if you really want it. What you'll notice is a very large buyout of cards. You can call this market manipulation. You'll just start to look at the charts and kind of understand more what's happening. TCG Player does a really good job showing you essentially what's happening in terms of items sold. But yeah, guys, this is one that you probably don't want to pay more for $3 for, I would assume, while you can get it now. Because what's going to happen with a lot of these cards, people are going to relist them for higher prices. Some people are going to notice that they're at all-time highs, and some people are going to start listing their cards as well. So this doesn't mean that there's 270 listings, there's only 477 quantity in the world. No, because if this goes up another 30%, let's say, you're going to have more people dumping their cards onto the market in order to realize some of their profits, right? Here we have the Rayquaza Sword and Shield 029. I believe this card comes from the Crown Zenith Sea and Sky box, if I had to guess. I can't really remember. I know that there's less than like 750 PSA 10s though. And if you look, there's an average of 44 sold a day, and there's only 273 listings, so 860 quantity left. I'm not the best at math, but I'm pretty sure that means that if on average people are purchasing 55 of these a day on average, as you can see, it's had multiple days in the past week where over 100 were purchased, and it's a good artwork as well. But yeah, if you have that happening, then ultimately the quantity of these is not going to be here forever. I tried looking on eBay for this card. It's already super expensive. It's already like $3 or $4 if you want to buy it now. So I would recommend picking up a PSA 10 copy of this card if you're going to get it. I don't know about you guys. I'm a little bit sketched about buying promos years later because I just don't know how people are keeping those promos. And so I think the only way that you can really ensure that you're buying a really good copy, no whitening, things like that, is by buying the PSA 10. And I also think that there could be some potential plays for purchasing PSA 10s, given that we have all these cards that are going to get bought up. The cards are going to go in price. That'll also in turn increase the price of the sealed product that these things are coming out of. And yeah, really smart on whoever just started to buy up all these promos that come from products that you ultimately have to open, that people are not trying to open or they're not opening, right, for the promos, whatever it might be. So this is a really, really, really hot card right now. If you look, there's been so many days where over 15 of these have sold. And there's actually been over, it looks like 3 days where over 100 cards have been sold just on that day. So this is one that you probably want to pick up from the Sword and Shield era before it's too late. This one I found by accident. So this is the Mimikyu Delta Species Sword and Shield promo. I think it comes with two other promos, a Toxicity and a Hydreigon. If you look here in a near mint, this card is going for $13.97, 32 current listings, but 2,500 have sold. So let's go and take a look. Well, 278 have sold this week. 20, 64, 47, 34, 27, 49, 74, 23, 25, 42, 36. People are buying up this card. I got really lucky. I was literally just scrolling. I was looking at Mimikyu cards. I watched the Team Rocket Joey video. He was talking about celebrations, so I quickly headed over to TCG. I wanted to see what was going on with celebrations. I was looking at the cards. I saw this Mimikyu. Mimikyu is one of my favorite Pokemon. I'll go on a little bit of a tangent. I recently realized that Mimikyu is a really cool Pokemon, and a lot of the Mimikyu cards are already worth a lot of money. Pokemon likes Mimikyu. They've already put Mimikyu on an Elite Trainer box, so they like Mimikyu as a mascot somewhat. And yeah, now I'm realizing that Mimikyu is low-key an undervalued Pokemon. For it to be a Pokemon that came out in Generation 7, I believe, and for it to be this popular, I think that Mimikyu is a huge play, just for collecting, because it's a really cool looking Pokemon. One of my favorite cards is actually the Brilliant Stars Trainer Gallery Mimikyu, and for those who don't know, that Mimikyu V actually has a Gengar plushie, and it looks really cute in it. But yeah, so this one right here, yeah, I got it for $10. I got like the 3 promos, whatever, on eBay for $10. Hopefully the copy looked good, so I'll be happy with my one copy. Once I saw that there was like whatever, like I bought this yesterday, so once I saw that there was 278 bought, I was like, okay, number one, I really want to make a video talking about the promos that are just getting purchased up in crazy quantities. And then yeah, number two, I wanted to just see if I could get some celebrations. I like Mimikyu, I like Delta species, and I'm a really big advocate for Black Star promos. They're probably like one of the, I would say, top 3 things that I like to collect right now is Black Star promos. So continuing on with the Sword and Shield here, we've got 2 sealed products for you guys as well. Ultimately, I just think that these 5 items are going to be more expensive in the future. If it was December of 2024 and you were looking at everything now, you had checked everything then, you'd be like, oh wow, really wish I bought back then. And so I think that this is really reminiscent of that. So Lost Origin in December of 2024, I was purchasing this box for $50 and I felt really good about it. It was my first eBay purchase. I was buying Battle Styles ETBs and I was buying Lost Origin ETBs. That's what I was doing. Surging Sparks was coming out, all that stuff. It was probably like a month old at that point, and I was like, you know what, I think it's probably a really good time to look at Sword and Shield. So taking a look here, Lost Origin, one of the most fascinating things about Lost Origin is it is a little bit newer when it comes to the Sword and Shield stuff. And I just don't think that people have ever valued it correctly. And when I say correctly, I just mean I don't think that we necessarily know where this box is going to go, right? Like we've seen the Lost Origin booster box, 36 packs. We've seen that get up to what, $550 now. Could there be a sentiment where people like Lost Origin more than something like a Fusion Strike? Well, here's my argument. Ultimately, Fusion Strike has terrible, terrible, terrible pull rates. Abysmal, some might even say. Whereas Lost Origin, I've had really, really, really wonderful experiences with. I've hit rainbow cards. I've hit, whatever else is in that. What is it? Trainer galleries. Is it still trainer galleries for Lost Origin? Like with the Pikachu and everything. I hit the Gengar multiple times from Lost Origin. I hit the Charizard multiple times from Lost Origin. Lost Origin is a phenomenal experience to open. People also, sentiment wise, I do think that people did like Lost Origin when it came out. I think that people were pushing Fusion Strike out of the way in order to get that Lost Origin. They were pushing Astral Radiance out of the way to get that. And the prices reflected as well. If you look in 2022 at some of the prices of like the booster boxes, I'm pretty sure a Fusion Strike booster box was under $110. I'm pretty sure an Astral Radiance booster box was under $120. Lost Origin was right there with it. Chilling Reign was right there with it. But ultimately, I think that Lost Origin still has some room to grow. And if you look, if an average of these are being sold 8 a day and there's only 53 listed with a quantity of 149, what is that? 8 into 150. Let's see. Let's do some math. What is that? What is that? Like 20? Less than a month. These are going to be gone. I don't think that it'll be totally gone. I think you'll still be able to find some Elite Trainer boxes on eBay. I think eBay is actually a great place to go. If you guys ever want to buy sealed product, go to eBay, turn on buy it now, because chances of you getting an auction and winning an auction, it's I just feel like it's less as opposed to, just looking at something, researching, knowing the price of an item, and then actually being able to purchase that item. Looks like I did actually just lost on a Forbidden Light build and battle box. I bet like $120 on it. Somebody must have outbid me, or did we get it? Wow, we didn't get it. That's crazy. All right, moving on. Astral Radiance, ETB. This is one that I'm kicking myself for not purchasing, when I saw it in store. This is one where it was like I knew I liked it, but I must have just been grabbing Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, and Brilliant Stars at the time, as well as Evolving Skies at the time, because I just completely ignored this box. I recently went to a card show in, I think it was May, or maybe it was June. I can't remember. We're going to say May. I recently went to a card show in May, and I had an opportunity to purchase these for $80. And I had like, what did I have? I had like $320 in credit or something like that. I could have picked up like 4 of these. But ultimately, this is a great set, guys. If you look at the number 1 chase, leave a comment down below if you know what the number 1 chase is for Astral Radiance. Won't spoil it for you guys. Okay, I'll spoil it for you guys. Now, the card has multiple Pokemon in it. It has Maracactus in it. It has Trapinch in it. Once you go and look at that card again, you're going to see, oh, wow, there's more Pokemon in that card than I even knew about. It's got a Starmie chase with Misty in it. People love Misty. As Pokemon continues to make Misty relevant, I think that Astral Radiance is ultimately going to be a good buy. Sword and Shield also helps it immensely, which I do think that Sword and Shield just happens to be one of the best eras, probably the best era of all time, to be honest, when it comes to just really cool stuff. At the very least, from a card standpoint, right? Maybe not from a collection box standpoint. I'm of the opinion that any collection box that has like cool stuff makes it really, really worth it. So for me, like the Shining Legends UPC, the Sword and Shield Zacian UPC, like the newer one, stuff like that, really, really high quality premium products. I just think that this is going to be gone soon. And what are we going to do? I think that the Pokemon Center looks really cool for this ETB as well. But I think that this is probably a pretty good buy right now. You can get build and battle stadiums of Astral Radiance. There's still like 20 or 30 of those floating around. But some people argue, hey, even though it's a really good price per pack margin, ultimately I've heard that build and battles are really bad. So I'm just going to avoid that completely. Me personally, I did just pick up an Astral Radiance build and battle stadium, which I'm really happy about. And I got it for like $65. So pretty cheap for that. But yeah, you can still pick up the ETB. It looks like for about $85. But look at that, guys. It's going to be $90 really soon. It's going to be $100 really soon. This is going to be one of those boxes where it's literally just going to go from 80 to 100, and it's just going to, probably have maybe, I want to say, like less than 10 sales. Considering the quantity, there's 70 right here. Figure there's maybe, let's just for poops and giggles, let's just say that there's 30 on eBay, right? So like close to 100 total. I really only think there's going to be like 5 more sales of this under, maybe 10 more sales of this under $90, guys. This is definitely a really good buy for Sword and Shield, and I think the Sword and Shield era, the promos, all that, definitely going to start getting scooped up in immense amounts. So if there's anything that you guys really, really, really want to pick up, I would recommend getting it. My recommendation right now, I do think that sealed is more scarce. So yeah, singled versus sealed plays, just taking a look at these, like 5 for example. I don't know if this is worth $10 to you. If you don't like Mimikyu, I don't think you should go out and buy this card. Rayquaza, this card is going to go up in value guaranteed. I think that the box that it's in is not really even known about as much as it could be. I think that Rayquaza is a really popular Pokemon. We get a Mega Rayquaza set coming soon as well. So there's no reason why this card should go down in price. I think it actually has a really interesting 1-year chart, I will say. The fact that it's down 71%. We did see some lower moments for the Sword and Shield era this year, so ultimately people are now taking advantage. They think that it's prime time. What do you guys think? What will be good plays when it comes to Sword and Shield moving forward? Do you guys think that the ETBs are a good buy? Do you not think that the ETBs are a good buy? Do you think there's still too many of them floating around? Or are you inclined to believe that the ETB supply is going to get eaten up very quickly? What do you guys think? You know, the reason why ETBs are also so enticing for people is because you don't have to pay booster box prices, right? You don't have to ever go over that like $250 range unless you're getting, I mean, at that point you're getting a grail, right? If you're getting a box for over $250 of Pokemon, in one way or another you're getting a grail of some kind, right? So I think that this is just more accessible to a lot more people, and that's why we're seeing an average of 8 daily sold, for example, 4 daily sold, for example. What do you guys think, though? Do you think that these are going to be on the market, much longer, or you think they're going to be gone in a month? Let me know what you think. What do you guys think are the best looking boxes as well? Because I have a really fun video coming talking about the best looking Elite Trainer boxes of all time. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like.